Hi, so these are the three models that I've implemented. On the left, we have the Fong shader. In the middle, we have Gooch. And on the right, we have Aura Nile. As you can see, the Fong on the left has the sort of specular reflections that we'd expect. In the middle with Gooch, we have a cool color set to a dark blue and a warm color being a dark red. So making it easier to see the full model even where light isn't hitting it. And then on the right, we have Aura Nile, which models diffuse objects. So we can see there's no specular reflections. I'll just bring up the GUI and then we can change some parameters. So first I'll change the light position for all of the models. Let me move this a bit further away. So we can see, try not to change it too much from the original models, but we can see it changing across all. Um, so we can see how the three different models stand up in different lighting circumstances. So you can see that notice the gooch in the middle becomes almost completely dark blue, and whereas the Aura Nile becomes almost invisible. And due to the ambient light of the Fong model and a bit of specular as well, we can, yeah, so you can note the specular on both the gooch and Fong, but not on the Aura Nile. And then the ambient light is doing a lot of heavy lifting for the Fong model here. So we'll put it back to there. Then I can also change, so just for the Fong shader now, I can change the color of the light and also the color of the material independently. So I'll change the color of the ambient light to something a bit better because now it's this blue. I'll change it to maybe this color is quite nice. And so we can see how the specular light still remains white. Um, Kind of hard to see if the diffuse light has changed, but I'll change this now. So right now I can make it a bit more red or something like this. Just set it back to the original there. I can do the same for the material as well, but this essentially has the same outcome as changing the light. Obviously, just the two of them combined together. So I'll change the specular exponent amount. So we can see as I make it bigger, you can see now the specular lobe is a bit like thinner but stronger. I'll just reset the light position so that this is easy to see. So you can see here it's quite sort of a thin specular lobe. And then if I take this down, the further down I take it, you can see now the lobe is a bit wider. If I go even further, it becomes even wider. And then if I go the whole way to 1, it becomes a very big lobe. So I'll set this back to 10, where the model is. And now this is a good opportunity to show the Gooch shader as well. So you can see now as there's not much light on the model, it's mainly cool with some red around the edges due to the light's position. And if I move the light up, we can see it becomes red and almost no cool color on it at the moment. So the purpose behind the Gooch model is mainly used for sort of technical diagrams to enable the full model to be seen while maintaining sort of perception of light in the diagram. So I'll put this back. And as well, I can change the specular exponent here as well. And so then for Aura Nile, here I can just, there's no specular component or ambient, so all I can change is the diffuse color. So, well, let me drag this over. I can do that like so. But an interesting factor that I can change is the roughness. So because Aura Nile models sort of a microfacet model, and so changing the roughness, it can, obviously there's sort of backscattering and like sort of facets obscuring parts of each other, which is all very interesting. So by changing the roughness parameter, we can model sort of rougher and smoother objects. So if I set this to a 0, we can see there's kind of more of a gradient as we go towards the edges. And then as I go to a 1, the whole object kind of takes on more of a consistent color because now there's a more sort of backscattering between the different faces. So this means that even if there is less light hitting a spot, the sort of contribution of that light becomes a bit more smoothed out because of this backscattering. Whereas if I set it to 0, kind of the microfacets don't really contribute that much light to the ones near them. They kind of just, they're not at a very steep angle. Yeah, so these are the three models that I've implemented. Thank you.